The reluctant ambassador, Princess Zara's daring choice. The crystalline spires of the Exoran capital glittered in the light of 3 setting suns, their iridescent surfaces reflecting a kaleidoscope of colors across the sprawling cityscape. Within the tallest tower, Princess Zara of the Exoran Empire paced restlessly, her translucent wings fluttering with agitation. "Your Highness, please reconsider," pleaded Advisor Krell, his multiple eyes blinking rapidly in distress. "Traveling on a human vessel is beneath your station. It's primitive." Zara turned to face her longtime mentor, her silver eyes flashing with determination. "That's precisely why I must do it, Krell. Our people have isolated themselves for too long. The humans may be young in the galactic community, but their achievements in such a short time are remarkable." Krell's exoskeleton rippled, a sign of his unease. "But the Imperial Council—" "The Council can voice their objections to my father," Zara interrupted. "As the appointed ambassador to the United Earth Alliance, I have the authority to choose my mode of transportation, and I choose the human exploration vessel Horizon." As if on cue, a holographic display flickered to life, showcasing the sleek lines of the Horizon. To Xoran eyes, accustomed to the organic, flowing designs of their own ships, the human vessel appeared boxy and inelegant. Yet Zara saw beauty in its efficiency, in the ingenuity that allowed a species barely a century into space travel to challenge the cosmic order. "Your father, Emperor Xorlax, will not be pleased," Krell warned. Zara's antennae twitched, a slight smile playing on her lips. "When has he ever been pleased with my decisions, old friend?" Before Krell could respond, the chamber doors slid open with a soft hiss. Emperor Xorlax entered, his imposing figure casting a long shadow across the room. The bioluminescent patterns on his exoskeleton pulsed with a mix of concern and anger. "Daughter," he rumbled, his deep voice resonating through the crystal chamber. "I've just received word of your unconventional travel arrangements. Surely this is some sort of jest." Zara straightened, meeting her father's gaze unflinchingly. "It is not, father. As ambassador, I believe it's crucial to understand the humans on their terms, in their environment. How can we hope to forge a lasting alliance if we continue to view them as inferior?" Xorlax's antennae flattened against his head, a sign of his displeasure. "The humans are barely more than animals, Zara. Their history is stained with violence and conflict. They have no place among the civilized races of the galaxy." "And yet," Zara countered, "they've achieved in centuries what took us millennia. Their adaptability, their drive to explore and innovate, these are traits we would do well to understand and perhaps even emulate." The Emperor's exoskeleton darkened, a warning sign that Zara recognized all too well. But she stood her ground, wings spread slightly in a subtle display of defiance. "You risk much, daughter," Xorlax said, his voice low and dangerous. "If harm befalls you on this human ship, it could spark a war that would tear the galaxy apart." Zara nodded sullenly. "I understand the risks, father, but I also see the potential rewards. This journey could be the key to a new era of cooperation and mutual understanding." For a long moment, silence reigned in the crystal chamber. Then, with a heavy sigh, Emperor Xorlax relented. "Very well, you may proceed with this experiment, but you will be accompanied by a full complement of Imperial guards, and you will maintain daily communication with the homeworld." Relief washed over Zara, though she was careful not to show it. "Thank you, father. I won't let you down." As the Emperor left, his displeasure still evident in the agitated pulsing of his bioluminescence, Krell approached Zara. "I hope you know what you're doing, Your Highness." Zara's gaze drifted back to the holographic display of the Horizon. "So do I, Krell, so do I." In the days that followed, preparations for the princess's departure threw the capital into a frenzy. News of her decision spread rapidly, sparking heated debates in every corner of Tauran society. Many praised her courage and vision, seeing it as a bold step toward a more connected future. Others decried it as foolish and dangerous, a betrayal of Thorin's superiority. Zara paid little heed to the controversy, focusing instead on her mission. She immersed herself in human culture, studying their languages, customs, and history. The more she learned, the more fascinated she became by their resilience and creativity. On the eve of her departure, as she stood on the balcony of her private chambers, gazing up at the star-studded sky, Zara felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. She knew that her journey aboard the Horizon would be more than just a diplomatic mission. It would be a test of her own beliefs and prejudices. "Princess," a voice called softly from behind her. Zara turned to see Captain Lyra, the leader of her Imperial Guard detail. "The final security briefing is ready." Zara nodded, taking one last look at the familiar constellations above. Tomorrow, she would see them from a new perspective, through human eyes. The launch day arrived with all the pomp and ceremony befitting a royal departure. The spaceport was awash with dignitaries, journalists, and curious onlookers, all straining for a glimpse of the controversial princess. As Zara approached a sleek shuttle that would take her to the orbiting Horizon, she caught sight of a group of humans standing apart from the Kavaran crowds. Their alien features, so strange yet oddly familiar from her studies, sent a thrill of excitement through her. Captain Malcolm Drake at the HFY Horizon stepped forward, offering a carefully practiced soaring greeting. His pronunciation was slightly off, but Zara appreciated the effort. "Welcome, Your Highness," Drake said, switching to Standard Galactic. "We're honored to have you aboard the Horizon." Zara inclined her head gracefully. "The honor is mine, Captain Drake. I look forward to learning from you and your crew." As they boarded the shuttle, Zara could feel the weight of countless eyes upon her, Soran, human, and undoubtedly representatives from other species scattered throughout the crowd. She knew that her next steps would be scrutinized across the galaxy, analyzed for any sign of weakness or favoritism. But as the shuttle's engines rolled to life, lifting them into the sky, Zara felt a sense of liberation. She was leaving behind the suffocating expectations of the Imperial Court, venturing into the unknown with an open mind and heart. Little did she know that her journey aboard the Horizon would not only change her own destiny, but the fate of two civilizations and perhaps the entire galaxy. As the shuttle broke through Zora's atmosphere, the vast expanse of space unfurled before them. The Horizon hung in orbit, its sleek form a testament to human engineering. Zara's breath caught in her throat at the sight. It was one thing to see holograms and images, but to behold the ship in person was truly awe-inspiring. Captain Drake noticed her reaction and smiled. "She's something, isn't she? Not as aesthetically pleasing as your organic ships, perhaps, but she'll get us where we need to go." Zara turned to him, her silver eyes shining with genuine admiration. "Beauty takes many forms, Captain. There is elegance in function, in pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Your people have accomplished much in a short time." Drake's smile widened, pleasantly surprised by the princess's words. As the shuttle maneuvered towards the Horizon's docking bay, he began to hope that this mission might not be the diplomatic nightmare he had feared. Little did either of them know that forces were already in motion, both on Sora and Earth, that would test the limits of their newfound understanding. As the Horizon prepared to embark on its journey, carrying its royal passenger into the depths of space, the stage was set for an adventure that would reshape the galaxy. Culture clash and unexpected allies. As the Horizon glided through the star-speckled void, Princess Zara found herself constantly amazed by the ingenuity of her human hosts. The ship's artificial gravity felt different from what she was accustomed to on Sora, but it was the little things that truly captured her attention. "You're saying this coffee is not a performance-enhancing drug?" Zara asked, peering curiously at the steaming mug in front of her. Lieutenant Aria Chen, the ship's xenobiologist and Zara's appointed liaison, chuckled. "Not officially, Your Highness. Though some of us couldn't function without it." The mess hall buzzed with activity, a mix of human crew members and Athoran guards trying to navigate the complex dance of interspecies dining. Zara sipped the bitter liquid, her antennae twitching at the unfamiliar sensation. "Fascinating," she murmured. "On Xora, stimulants like this would be reserved for military use only." Aria's eyes lit up with interest. "Really? Would you mind if I asked some questions about Xoran biology? The medical implications could be..." A sudden lurch sent coffee sloshing across the table. Alarms blared throughout the ship, red emergency lights bathing everything in an ominous glow. Captain Drake's voice crackled over the intercom. "All hands to battle stations. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill." Zora's guards immediately formed a protective circle around her, their bio-armor pulsing with defensive energy. But the princess wasn't about to be shuttled off to safety. "What's happening?" she demanded, falling into step beside Aria as they rushed towards the bridge. "Unknown, Your Highness," Aria replied, her face grim. "But whatever it is, it can't be good." As the bridge doors hissed open, Zara gasped. The main view screen showed a massive vessel emerging from what appeared to be a tear in space itself. Its design was like nothing she had ever seen, all angles and shadows, as if it were built from the very fabric of the void. "By the first egg," Captain Lyra whispered, her mandibles clicking in shock. "It can't be." Zara turned to her guard captain. "You recognize this ship?" Lyra nodded slowly. "From ancient legends, Your Highness. The Void Hunters. We thought they were myths, bogeymen to scare hatchlings. But if the stories are true, then we're all in very deep trouble," Captain Drake finished, his face ashen. "They're hailing us." The view screen flickered, revealing a being that seemed to be composed of living shadow. Its voice, when it spoke, resonated not through the air, but directly in their minds. "Insignificant motes," it intoned. "You have breached the boundaries of known space. Prepare to be cleansed." Zara stepped forward, her royal training kicking in. "I am Princess Zara of the Exoran Empire. By what authority do you threaten us?" The shadow being's form rippled, as if laughing. "Authority? We are the void. We are eternal. Your empires, your alliances, they are but fleeting sparks in the cosmic dark. And now that spark shall be extinguished." The communication cut off abruptly. On the tactical display, smaller ships began to swarm out of the massive Void Hunter vessel. "Options?" Drake barked, turning to his crew. The tactical officer, a young ensign named Jack Harper, spoke up. "Sir, our weapons are barely registering on their shields, but I'm detecting some unusual energy fluctuations in their drive system. If we get close enough..." "It's suicide," Lyra interrupted. "Our ships have encountered similar beings in the past. None survived." Zara's mind raced. Here she was, witnessing firsthand the human capacity for quick thinking in the face of overwhelming odds. But she also knew the value of foreign historical knowledge. If they were to survive this, they would need to combine their strengths. "Captain Drake," she said, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her. "I have an idea, but it will require trust between our peoples like never before." Drake met her gaze, nodding slowly. "At this point, Your Highness, I'm all ears." What followed was a frenzied exchange of ideas. Zara shared what little that Axorans knew of the Void Hunters from their legends, while the human crew proposed increasingly daring tactical maneuvers. As the swarm of enemy ships drew closer, a plan began to take shape, one that would push both species to their limits. "It's insane," Lyra protested, using the princess's own bioelectric field to mask our approach. "The risk is unacceptable." "With all due respect, Captain," Aria interjected, her eyes shining with scientific curiosity, "it's brilliant. The Void Hunters won't expect a hybrid approach. It's our best shot." Zara placed a hand on Lyra's arm. "Old friend, this is why I came on this journey. To bridge our worlds, to find strength in our differences. Will you stand with me?" After a moment's hesitation, Lyra nodded. "Always, Your Highness." As the plan was set in motion, Zara found herself at the heart of the action. She was led to the engine room, where engineers had hastily reconfigured the ship's power systems to channel her natural Xoran energy. "This might tingle a bit," Chief Engineer Ravi Patel warned as he attached sensor pads to her exoskeleton. Zara took a deep breath. "For the future of both our peoples, Mr. Patel, I'm willing to endure far worse than a tingle." On the bridge, Captain Drake watched as the Void Hunter ships closed in. "All hands, brace for impact. Ensign Harper, on my mark, execute the Zara Gambit." The ship shuddered as the first wave of enemy fire struck their shields. Alarms blared, warning of multiple hull breaches. "Now," Drake shouted. In the engine room, Zara felt a surge of energy course through her body. It was exhilarating and terrifying all at once. Through the ship's internal sensors, she could sense the horizon changing, adapting, becoming something new, a hybrid of human technology and Xoran biology. The Void Hunters, their senses confused by the unprecedented energy signature, hesitated in their attack. It was all the opening the horizon needed. With a burst of speed that seemed to defy physics, the ship dove towards the massive Void Hunter vessel. Weapons fire lanced out, not from traditional human armaments, but from points on the hull that glowed with Xoran bioluminescence. On the bridge, cheers erupted as the enemy's shields buckled under the assault. "It's working," Harper exclaimed. "Their dry system is destabilizing." But victory was far from assured. As the horizon pressed its attack, the Void Hunters regrouped, their smaller ships forming a deadly net around the human vessel. In the engine room, Zara felt her strength beginning to wane. "I don't know how much longer I can maintain this," she gasped. Ravi squeezed her shoulder encouragingly. "Just a little more, Your Highness. You're doing great." On the bridge, Drake's face was a mask of concentration. "Harper, target that fluctuation in their drive. Everything we've got now." The horizon unleashed a final devastating barrage. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, with a silent flash that seemed to bend the very fabric of space, the Void Hunter mothership imploded. The sudden absence of the massive vessel created a shockwave that sent both the horizon and the remaining enemy ships tumbling through space. Emergency systems kicked in, stabilizing their trajectory, but the damage was done. As the dust settled, the bridge crew stared in awe at the debris field that had once been an unstoppable force of legend. "Did we just?" Harper began, his voice filled with disbelief. "We did," Drake confirmed, a slow smile spreading across his face. "And we couldn't have done it without our Xoran allies." He turned to Lyra, extending his hand. "Thank you, Captain. Your princess is one hell of a secret weapon." Lyra, still processing the unprecedented victory, took Drake's hand in a firm grip. "I believe, Captain, that we all have much to learn from each other." In the engine room, Zara slumped in exhaustion, supported by Ravi and Aria. But despite her fatigue, her eyes shone with excitement and purpose. "This," she said softly, "this is why I chose to travel on a human ship. Together, we can achieve the impossible." As the horizon limped away from the battlefield, its crew, human and Xoran alike, began to see each other in a new light. Bonds forged in the heat of combat would not easily be broken. But even as they celebrated their unlikely victory, none of them realized that this was only the beginning. The defeat of the Void Hunters had sent ripples through the cosmos, awakening ancient forces and setting in motion events that would reshape the very foundations of galactic society. For Princess Zara, her journey aboard the Horizon had already exceeded her wildest expectations. But the true test of her vision for unity between humans and Taurans was yet to come. Echoes of the Void. The Horizon drifted through the shimmering nebula known as the Whisper Veil, its hull still bearing the scars of its encounter with the Void Hunters. Princess Zara stood on the observation deck, her silver eyes reflecting the swirling cosmic dust outside. The victory had come at a cost. Both human and Tauran crew members had been lost in the battle, and the ship's systems were operating at barely 60% efficiency. "Your Highness," Captain Drake's voice broke through her reverie. We've received a transmission from Earth. It's, well, you should see for yourself. Zara followed Drake to the bridge, where the main view screen flickered to life. The face that appeared was human, but there was something off about it. A coldness in the eyes, a rigidity in the expression that sent a chill down Zara's spine. "Greetings, HEV Horizon," the figure intoned. "I am Administrator Vex of the Terra Prime Initiative. Your recent encounter has forced us to accelerate our plans. The Axoran Princess must be turned over to us immediately." Drake's jaw clenched. On whose authority? The United Earth Alliance has no record of a Terra Prime Initiative. Vex's lips curled into a sneer. "The old structures are obsolete, Captain. Humanity's brush with extinction has opened many eyes. The Void Hunters were just the beginning. We must secure our dominance in the galaxy by any means necessary." Zara stepped forward, her antennae quivering with indignation. "And you believe holding me hostage will achieve this? You underestimate both our peoples." "On the contrary, Your Highness," Vex replied, his voice dripping with false courtesy. "We understand all too well the power you represent. The Void Hunter incident proved that. Imagine what humanity could achieve with access to Xoran biotech." The screen went dark, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. "Well," Lieutenant Chen muttered, "I guess we know why Command has been so quiet." Drake turned to Zara, his expression grim. "Your Highness, I swear to you, this is not what Earth stands for. We'll protect you, no matter the cost." Zara's mind raced. This was a threat she hadn't anticipated, not from the humans she had come to admire. "We need to warn my people," she said. "If this Terra Prime has truly seized control." Before she could finish, alarms blared throughout the ship. "Multiple contacts," Ensign Harper shouted. "They're coming out of quantum foam, sir. They're using Void Hunter tech." The view screen lit up with a terrifying sight. A fleet of ships, clearly human in design but twisted by the same shadowy energy they had encountered before. At their center loomed a massive dreadnought, its hull crawling with tendrils of living darkness. "How is this possible?" Zara whispered. "The Void Hunters were defeated." Captain Lyra, who had been quietly observing, spoke up. "Not defeated, Your Highness. Absorbed. These humans, they've merged with the very force they sought to destroy." Drake's face hardened with resolve. "We can't outrun them, and we sure as hell can't outgun them. Not in our condition." He turned to his crew. "I'm open to suggestions, people, preferably the kind that don't end with us all dead or worse." Ensign Harper's eyes lit up. "Sir, the nebula. The Whisper Veil isn't just cosmic dust, it's alive. The radiation it emits disrupts quantum communications. If we can get deep enough inside, we might be able to lose them," Drake finished. "But the radiation would fry our systems in minutes." Zara stepped forward, her exoskeleton pulsing with determination. "Not if we adapt. My people have experience shielding against cosmic phenomena. If we combine our knowledge with your technology—" "Another Zara gambit?" Drake asked, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. The princess nodded. "But this time we'll need more than just my bioelectric field. We'll need every Axoran on board." What followed was a frenzy of activity. As the Terra Prime fleet closed in, humans and Xorans worked side by side, reconfiguring the Horizon's systems in ways neither species had ever attempted before. Zara found herself at the heart of it all, her royal training forgotten as she spliced wires and recalibrated sensors alongside the ship's engineers. "Ready for test run," Chief Engineer Patel called out, activating hybrid shields in 3, 2, 1. The ship hummed with new energy as the jerry-rigged systems came online. Outside, the tendrils of the Whisper Veil seemed to reach out, embracing the horizon in a cocoon of swirling stardust. "It's working," Harper exclaimed. "Terra Prime ships are losing lock. Wait, something's wrong. The nebula, it's communicating." Suddenly, Zara felt a presence in her mind, ancient, vast, and utterly alien. Images flashed before her eyes. The birth of stars, the dance of galaxies, the ebb and flow of cosmic energy. She gasped, overwhelmed by the sheer scale of what she was experiencing. Your Highness. Drake's voice seemed to come from far away. Zara, can you hear me? With a supreme effort of will, Zara pulled herself back to the present. The veil, she managed to say, her voice shaking. It's alive, sentient, and it remembers the Void Hunters. It wants to help us. As if in response to her words, the nebula around them began to pulse with bioluminescent light. The horizon's sensors lit up with new information, revealing hidden currents and eddies in the cosmic dust. Incredible, Arya breathed, her scientific curiosity overriding her fear. The nebula is showing us safe passages we can navigate through. Drake didn't hesitate. Helm, follow those currents. Take us in deep. As the horizon plunged into the heart of the Whisper Vale, the Terra Prime fleet fell back, unable to penetrate the living barrier that had formed around the ship. But their reprieve was short-lived. Captain, Harper called out, his voice tight with tension. I'm picking up a massive energy spike from the Terra Prime dreadnought. There, oh God. The view screen showed a horrifying sight. The dreadnought was changing, its form twisting and elongating. Void Hunter technology merged with human ambition, creating something that defied the laws of physics. They're forcing their way through, Lara said, her mandibles clicking in agitation. The nebula can't hold them back forever. Zara closed her eyes, reaching out to the vast intelligence that surrounded them. There's a way, she said softly, but it requires a sacrifice. Drake met her gaze, understanding dawning in his eyes. The ship. Zara nodded. The horizon, merged with Exoran biotech and the nebula's own essence. We can create a barrier that even they can't breach. But we'll be trapped here, Drake finished, cut off from both our worlds. The weight of the decision hung heavy in the air. Every member of the crew, human and Tataran alike, knew what was at stake. Their lives, their futures, weighed against the safety of two civilizations. I can't make this choice for you, Zara said, looking around at the faces of those who had become more than allies. They were now her friends. But know that whatever you decide, it has been my greatest honor to serve alongside you. For a moment, there was silence. Then, one by one, voices rang out. For Earth, said Ensign Harper. For Sora, Captain Lyra added. For the future, Arya chimed in. Captain Drake straightened, his voice firm with resolve. For all of us, let's do this. With a nod from Zara, the process began. The Horizon systems, already a hybrid of human and Tsoran technology, began to merge with the living energy of the Whisper Vale. The ship groaned and shuddered, its very structure changing at a molecular level. Outside, the Terra Prime dreadnought pressed forward, its twisted form tearing through the nebula's defenses. But as it approached the Horizon's position, it met a wall of pure energy, a barrier born of three species united in purpose. The dreadnought's weapons flared, pouring enough power to shatter a planet into the barrier. For a heart-stopping moment, it seemed like it might break through. But the barrier held, pulsing with the combined life force of the Horizon's crew and the ancient nebula itself. Inside the ship, now more a living organism than a vessel, Zara and her human allies watched as the Terra Prime fleet fell back, thwarted by a power they couldn't hope to understand. We did it, Drake said softly, wonder and exhaustion mingling in his voice. Zara nodded, her silver eyes reflecting the swirling energies that now surrounded them. We did, but our journey is far from over. As the Horizon-turned Guardian settled into its new role, its crew faced an uncertain future. Cut off from their homes, adrift in a living nebula, they had become something entirely new, a bridge between species, a bulwark against the darkness that threatened to engulf the galaxy. For Princess Zara, it was both an end and a beginning. She had set out to learn about humanity, to foster understanding between their peoples. Instead, she had found herself at the heart of a cosmic drama. forging alliances that transcended the boundaries of biology and physics. As she looked out at the shimmering veils of their new home, Zora knew that their greatest challenges and their greatest adventures still lay ahead. The echo of the void still resonated through the cosmos, and someday, somehow, they would find a way to make their voices heard across the stars once more. But for now, in this moment of hard-won peace, the princess allowed herself a small smile. Whatever the future held, they would face it together, human, Soran, and the vast, ancient intelligence that had given them sanctuary. In unity, they had found a strength greater than any of them could have imagined alone. The whisper veil pulsed around them, a silent promise of wonders yet to be discovered and challenges yet to be overcome. And in the hearts of those aboard the transformed horizon, hope burned bright, a beacon in the cosmic night, a testament to the indomitable spirit of life itself. Quantum entanglement. The horizon, now a living symbiosis of human technology, Soran biology, and the cosmic essence of the whisper veil, drifted through the shimmering nebula. Days have turned into weeks, and weeks into months. The crew, once divided by species, had become a unified entity, their minds linked through the ship's neural network. Princess Zora stood at the heart of the ship, her form now a swarthing mix of Soran exoskeleton and bioluminescent energy. Captain Drake, his body enhanced with quantum filaments, stood beside her. They communicated not with words, but with pure thought. The Terra Prime threat has receded, Zora projected, her consciousness expanding through the ship, but we cannot remain hidden forever. Drake's mind resonated with agreement. Our people will be searching for us, and the longer we stay isolated, the greater the risk of the void's influence spreading. Suddenly, a surge of energy pulsed through the ship. Ensign Harper, now more data stream than human, materialized before them. Captain, Your Highness, Harper's voice echoed in their minds. I've detected an anomaly, a tear in the quantum fabric of space-time. The ship's neural network lit up with excitement and apprehension. Could this be their way out? Or a new threat? Aria Chen, her consciousness merged with the ship's phenobiology systems, chimed in. The tear is emitting a frequency we've never encountered before. It's singing to us. Zora felt a pull towards the anomaly, a resonance that stirred something deep within her transformed being. We must investigate, she declared. This could be the key to our return. As the horizon approached the quantum tear, reality itself seemed to warp around them. Colors shifted into impossible spectrums, and the very concept of time became fluid. Brace for transition, Drake commanded, his thoughts steadying the crew. The ship plunged into the tear, and for a moment that stretched into eternity, everything ceased to exist. Then, with a burst of energy that would have blinded ordinary eyes, they emerged into somewhere else. Gone was the familiar backdrop of stars and nebulae. Instead, they found themselves in a realm of pure energy, where thought and matter were one and the same. By the cosmic egg, Captain Lyra gasped, her mandibles clicking in astonishment. It's the nexus, the mythical crossroads of realities. Before them stretched an impossible landscape of intertwining realities. They saw versions of Earth and Sora, where history had taken different turns. Timelines where the Void Hunters had never existed, and others where they had conquered the galaxy. But at the center of it all stood a structure that defied comprehension, a towering spire that seemed to be made of pure consciousness. Welcome, travelers, a voice resonated through their minds, neither male nor female, neither human nor Soran. We are the architects of reality, and we have been waiting for you. Zora stepped forward, her form shimmering with newfound power. Who are you? Why have you brought us here? The voice seemed to laugh, a sound like the birth of stars. We are the guardians of the multiverse, the shepherds of possibility. And you, Princess Zora of Sora, Captain Drake of Earth, are the key to saving all realities from the encroaching void. Images flooded their minds. The Void Hunters were not just a threat to their universe, but to all universes. The Terra Prime incident was just one manifestation of a cancer spreading through the very fabric of existence. Your union, the architect continued, the merging of your species and technologies has created a force capable of stemming the tide. But to truly defeat the void, you must become more than you are. You must become the bridge between all realities. The implications were staggering. The crew of the Horizon had thought a sacrifice would save their worlds, but now they faced a choice that would affect the fate of every possible universe. Drake's mind raced with questions. How can we possibly hope to fight something that threatens all of reality? The architect's response came not in words, but in a surge of knowledge that expanded their consciousness beyond anything they had ever imagined. They saw the quantum threads that connected all things, the hidden frequencies that could reshape matter and energy. They understood, in that moment, that the power to save or doom all of existence lay within them. Zara turned to her crew, her silver eyes now swirling portals to other dimensions. "This is more than we ever dreamed," she said, her voice resonating across multiple planes of reality. "But we cannot make this choice alone. Each of us must decide." One by one, the crew members stepped forward, their forms shifting as they embraced their new potential. Aria Chen, once a xenobiologist, now a living repository of all possible evolutionary paths. Ensign Harper, transformed into a being of pure quantum probability. Captain Lyra, her Xoran exoskeleton, now a map of alternate histories. And at the center, Zara and Drake, their minds and bodies merging into something beyond human or Xoran, a new species born of crisis and hope. As they accepted their new role, the Nexus itself seemed to shift around them. The Horizon, already a marvel of hybrid technology, began to transform once more. It grew, expanded, becoming a vessel capable of navigating the currents of reality itself. The Voidwalker, Zara whispered, the name coming to her from some deep, cosmic intuition. The architect's presence enveloped them one last time. "Go forth, guardians of reality. The multiverse is yours to protect. But beware, the power you now wield can reshape existence itself. Use it wisely." With a thought, the newly christened Voidwalker surged forward, slipping between the cracks of reality. They had a mission now, a purpose that transcended the petty conflicts of their original worlds. As they navigated the quantum foam between universes, they caught glimpses of the battles to come, shadow fleets of void hunters besieging entire galaxies, Terra Prime zealots tearing holes in the fabric of space-time, and behind it all, a darkness older than time itself. But they were no longer alone. In every reality they touched, they found allies, versions of themselves, alternate histories where different choices had been made. With each encounter, their power grew, and their understanding of the cosmic tapestry deepened. Zara, once a princess of a single world, now felt the weight of entire universes on her shoulders. But as she looked at her crew, her family, she knew that together they could face anything. "Where to first, Captain?" she asked, a smile playing on her multidimensional lips. Drake grinned back, his form shimmering with possibility. "Everywhere and everywhen, Your Highness. We have a multiverse to save." And with that, the Voidwalker leaped into the unknown, its crew ready to write a new chapter in the history of all realities. The adventure that had begun with a princess's decision to travel on a human ship had become a saga that would echo across the infinite expanse of existence itself. As they vanished into the quantum mists, a single thought resonated through the minds of every crew member. For Earth, for Exora, for all of reality, we are the Voidwalkers, and our journey has only just begun. The Paradox Protocol. The Voidwalker shimmered into existence above a dying Earth, its crystalline hull refracting light from a bloated red sun. This wasn't their Earth, nor their timeline, but the crew felt the weight of its impending doom nonetheless. Quantum sensors detecting massive void incursions. Ensign Harper's voice resonated through the ship's neural network. "This reality is hours away from total collapse." Princess Zara, her form now a swirling nexus of possibilities, turned to Captain Drake. "We can't save them all," she said, her voice tinged with the wisdom of 1,000 lifetimes. Drake nodded, his eyes reflecting the timelines they traversed. "But we can save enough to turn the tide. Initiate the Paradox Protocol." The words sent a ripple of anticipation through the crew. The Paradox Protocol was their most powerful and dangerous weapon against the void, a technique that allowed them to rewrite the very laws of causality within a localized space-time bubble. "Aria, begin quantum entanglement with the planet's core," Zara commanded. "Lyra, prepare the chronoton burst. We'll only have one shot at this." As the Voidwalker descended through the atmosphere, they saw the devastation wrought by the void. Cities lay in ruins, their once proud skyscrapers now twisted monuments to entropy. The sky was choked with ash and temporal distortions, reality itself fraying at the seams. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. "Void hunters," Harper shouted. "They've detected our temporal signature." A swarm of shadow ships materialized around them, their forms constantly shifting as if struggling to maintain coherence in normal space-time. At their center loomed a massive dreadnought, its hull crawling with living darkness. "Well, well," a familiar voice crackled through the comm system. "The prodigal princess returns. How kind of you to deliver yourselves to us." Zara's eyes narrowed. "Administrator Vex, I see you've embraced the void fully now." The view screen flickered to life, revealing a being that was more shadow than man. Vex's eyes glowed with malevolent energy as he sneered at them. "Embraced it? My dear princess, we have become it. And soon all realities will know the peace of oblivion." Drake stepped forward, his form pulsing with barely contained quantum energy. "Not if we have anything to say about it. Now." The Voidwalker's systems surged to life. Aria's consciousness merged with the planet's molten core, establishing a quantum link that transcended physical laws. Lyra unleashed a burst of chronotons, particles that existed outside of normal time. For a moment, reality itself seemed to hold its breath. Then, with a silent explosion of light and energy, a bubble of altered space-time expanded outward from the Voidwalker. Within its confines, the laws of physics rewrote themselves. Cause and effect reversed, entropy turned backward, and the very concept of linear time became meaningless. The Void Hunters, creatures of chaos and destruction, found themselves unable to maintain their form within this new paradigm. Their ships twisted and warped, folding in on themselves like cosmic origami. Vex's scream of rage was cut short as his dreadnought imploded, collapsing into a singularity that winked out of existence. On the surface below, the effects were even more dramatic. Ruined cities reassembled themselves in the blink of an eye. Decimated populations sprang back into being, their timelines restored. The red giant sun reversed its expansion, becoming once again the yellow dwarf that had nurtured life on this earth for billions of years. But the strain on the Voidwalker was immense. Alarms blared as systems overloaded, unable to contain the paradoxical energies they had unleashed. "We can't maintain the bubble," Aria shouted, her voice distorted by the quantum fluctuations. "It's going to collapse." Zara closed her eyes, reaching out with her mind to touch the very fabric of this reborn reality. "Not collapse," she said softly. "Integrate." With a final surge of will, she guided the paradox energies into the timeline itself. The bubble didn't so much pop as it did merge, its altered laws of physics weaving themselves into the very essence of this universe. As the light faded and the quantum storms subsided, the crew of the Voidwalker found themselves looking down at an Earth reborn, not just restored to its former state, but transformed into something new, a world where the boundaries between science and magic, between the physical and the metaphysical, had been forever blurred. "By the cosmic egg," Lyra whispered, her mandibles clicking in awe. "What have we done?" "We've given them a fighting chance," Drake replied, his voice filled with equal parts wonder and trepidation. "A world where the void can never again gain a foothold." But their victory was short-lived. As the Voidwalker's sensors recalibrated to this new reality, they detected a disturbance rippling across the multiverse. "Captain," Harper called out, his voice urgent. "The paradox. It's spreading. We've created a cascade effect. Every reality we've touched is being rewritten." The implications were staggering. They had set out to save the multiverse, but in doing so, they may have fundamentally altered the nature of existence itself. Zara turned to her crew, her silver eyes reflecting the infinite possibilities that now lay before them. "We've opened Pandora's box," she said sullenly. "Now we must become its guardians." As the Voidwalker prepared to jump to the next reality in need, the crew knew that their journey had entered a new phase. They were no longer just fighting against the void, they were shepherding the birth of a new multiverse, one where the lines between hero and god had become irrevocably blurred. The ship's quantum drive hummed to life, preparing to plunge them once more into the depths of the unknown. But this time, they carried with them the power to reshape reality itself. "For Earth, for Exora, for all of existence," Drake said, his voice resonating with newfound purpose. "We are the Voidwalkers, and our true mission has only just begun." As the Voidwalker vanished in a flash of quantum energy, the reborn Earth below pulsed with new life and possibility. And across the infinite expanse of the multiverse, realities trembled on the brink of transformation, awaiting the arrival of their unlikely saviors. The saga of the alien princess who chose to travel on human ships had become a legend that would echo across eternity, a tale of unity, sacrifice, and the unimaginable power born from the union of different worlds. And somewhere, in the spaces between realities, the architects of reality watched and waited, wondering if their chosen champions would prove to be the multiverse's salvation or its ultimate undoing.